Sometimes we rush through the world trying to find what matters, but there are places that don't ask to be found. They only ask to be noticed. This is a quiet story about a fox who sits still, not because he is lost, but because he sees. And sometimes when we stop moving, we start to understand the things that were always there. There is a ledge of stone near the edge of the valley. It is not high, not hidden, not marked on any map. But it is a place where the wind moves carefully and the moss does not grow too fast. And there, on most quiet days, sits a fox. He wears a weathered cloak. Not because he is cold, but because time has touched him gently, and he lets it rest on his shoulders. No one knows how long he has sat there. Some say he is a guardian, some say he is waiting, some say he is lost, but he is always there when the sky is soft. The forest knows him, the birds do not fear his presence. The mushrooms grow near his feet, even the wind circles him before passing on. Many animals have come to ask him questions. "What do you see from here?" asked the young hare once. "Everything that hasn't been said," the fox replied, without turning his head. A squirrel came. She asked if he was watching for danger. The fox shook his head. "I watch what was," he said, "and what might return." One spring, a bear stopped beside him. She asked, "Is this your post? Do you guard the valley?" The fox said nothing at first. Then he looked up at the clouds and answered, "I do not guard it. I remember it. And because I remember, it still speaks." Years passed, or perhaps only days. Time moves differently when it is not asked to hurry. One autumn morning, a young badger arrived, fur ruffled, paws restless, eyes full of plans. He sat beside the fox without asking. After a while, he said, "I've walked the whole valley, and I've seen nothing special." The fox nodded slowly. "Did you look?" he asked. The badger frowned. "Of course I looked." The fox didn't answer, only returned his gaze to the land below. The badger waited, then sighed, then looked again. He watched the curve of the river, the shifting mist, the birds gliding low over the trees. He watched the way the mountain caught the light, how the breeze moved the grass in quiet waves. He heard a branch creak, he heard his own breath, and then he didn't speak. After a long while, he said softly, "I didn't see that before." The fox nodded. The badger stayed for a time, then left. Others came, some stayed. Some didn't understand, but the fox remained. He did not write stories, he did not sing songs, he did not explain what he saw. But something in the valley grew clearer each time he was seen there. As if being witnessed made it more real, as if someone simply noticing was enough to keep the valley from forgetting itself. One evening, as dusk gathered like a soft blanket over the peaks, a small voice spoke from behind a fern. It was a mouse. She asked, "Why do you never speak first?" The fox turned to her and smiled, not with teeth but with presence. "Because most do not come to hear me," he said. "They come to hear what the silence says to them." She nodded, not because she fully understood, but because the wind moved differently just then, and it felt like a kind of answer. And so he sits still, not because he is waiting, not because he is lonely, but because there are things that only become visible when someone is still enough to see them. And the valley, full of its old unspoken stories, keeps whispering. Not for those who listen quickly, but for those who are willing to sit and let the world speak first.